Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. Just give me 1 second. We will begin momentarily. As always, I hope you are having a fantastic Friday. It's beginning of the weekend, and I hope you had a fantastic day too. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, I think we can begin. Doodop. Hi, how's everyone doing? So glad to see you again. It's Friday. Yes, we made it. We made it through the week. Now it's time to try out something new. In my case, if you already know React, good for you. I don't. So yeah, today I'm going to start my journey with React and Inertia. So Laravel, React, Inertia. That's the three things that I want to learn to this project that I'm setting for myself, where I'm going to create a job board like Lara jobs, but with obviously the three technologies that I just mentioned. Let me take care of the self-promotion before we start. Livewire user tries React for the first time. Will he succeed? Join me and find out. So this is Blue Sky, Discord, and finally Twitter. Okay. So the few ground rules that I'm setting for myself is, at first, I'm not going to use any starter kits. So that'll be the first rule. No starter kits to begin with. Once I get myself a little bit more comfortable with everything that it has to do with Inertia, React, and Livewire. Sorry, see what I'm doing? Already going back. Inertia, React, and Laravel. Once I'm a bit comfortable with how things are set up, then I'm gonna go and create. So I'm gonna create a starter project that is not going to be my final project, and then the project that I'm going to use will be using a starter kit. But first, I need to get my hands dirty, understand how everything is laid out, and then we will begin with the easy mode. The other thing that the other rule that I'm going to set for myself is only use documentation and don't use tutorials unless it is strictly necessary to get myself unstuck and I'm not sure about how to continue. For that purpose, I have, obviously, you don't need to be here. I have Laravel documentation already opened. Also, I have the React documentation, which I think only needs to be, I only need to do this step. Everything else should be in the Laravel and Livewire. I keep saying Livewire. Laravel and Inertia documentation, which I also have right here. Just make sure that I can see everything. Okay, cool. So yeah, no tutorials unless it's strictly necessary. For the tutorial part, I found a very nice playlist that I'm going to use just in case of emergencies. And it's this one right here from Learn with John. And he has a playlist for everything React and Laravel. I'm gonna keep it on the setup part because that's what I'm going to do today. But I'm not going to use it unless I really, really have to. Okay. So why don't we begin? This is going to be good. All right. So chat's there. Everything else is good. I need a terminal. All right, let's zoom in because this is not really big. So Laravel, no wait, I need to do it in my herd folder. And let's say Laravel new React playground. No starter kit. I'm not going to be doing any testing, but let's leave it at pest. No GitHub repository for now. I hope everything goes well. It will be. I mean, at this point, you really need to want to fail. SQLite for the database, sure, no problem. Default database migrations, yes, sure. Okay, we have our new project. Let's begin with the most basic step, which will be, oh, I have Tailwind already in. How nice of you. You don't have to install that. What else did you install? Prefixer, Axios, Laravel Bit plugin, PostCSS, Tailwind CSS, and Vite. All right. So yeah, let's start with the most basic, which is React. I'm in the add React to existing project because that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to run this command right here to add React and React DOM. Good. Okay, that's done. Let's start then with the Laravel documentation. I'm in the asset. Is this zoom in or not? It's kind of small. I'm with inside Laravel documentation, the basics, asset building, and I am in the React section. All right. If you would like to build your front end using the React framework, which I want to, then you will also need to install the Vite.js plugin React. Let's copy that. Okay, done. You may then include the plugin in your v.config.js configuration file, which is right below the Laravel plugin. You need to import React from there. Copy this. Import React from Vite.js slash plugin React, and then we just use React like so. You will need to ensure that any files containing JSX have a .jsx or .tsx extension. Remembering to update your entry point if required, as shown above. So this is, okay, so that's the JSX, which is currently .js. Looks a little different because we have the .css. We have the .css because we already have, assuming we already have, yeah, Tailwind already is there. So it means that we need to update this part to JSX. We also need to rename that entry point to, where is it? Resources, JS, app.js, JSX. I don't know. That's my first, there's my first point of contingency. Let me read a bit more. So I'm just gonna do it and deal with the repercussions later. Rename. I'm just not sure because I don't really have any JSX. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. You will also need to include the additional Vite React refresh blade directive alongside your existing Vite directive. Right now we don't, the only page that we have is the welcome page, right? Which we probably want to just wipe clean, removing everything that we don't need. There's a Vite. Yeah, let's just wipe this clean. I'm just gonna leave the body as it is and then remove everything within the body. Wasn't what I wanted. Why are you removing the class? God, why are you weird? Why are you weird? I know. Do it like this. Okay. So they say that we need to add this vit react refresh directive. If file exists, public path build manifest adjacent, the or file exists, public path hot. Gotta be a new thing, but let's just add it here. The vit react refresh directive must be called before vit directive. The vit directive. Okay. Yeah, I know about the starter kits. Not doing that right now. Inertia. The Laravel Vit plugin provides a convenient resolve page component function to help you resolve your inertia page components. Below is an example of the helper in use with Vue 3. I don't want Vue 3. I want React. So are we done with React? I think we are. Okay. There's got to be something else. Asset building, writing views, using Vue and React front end. Check that out. Nothing here. Okay. So everything is pointing me to inertia. So I'm gonna go. I'm going to go. I'm moving from the Laravel documentation to the inertia documentation now because every section that I see is just pointing me there. Okay. Installation, server side. The first step when installing, I'm sorry, this doesn't have a dark mode. So it's gonna be a little bright even for me. The first step when installing Inertia is to configure your server-side framework. Inertia maintains an official server-side adapter for Laravel. For other frameworks, please see the community adapters. Inertia is fine-tuned for Laravel, so the documentation examples on this website utilize Laravel. Okay, sure, fine. Starter kits, not using them. If you would like to manually install Inertia, that's what I want. Please continue below. Install the dependencies. Composer require. Okay, let's do this. Done. The root template. Next, set up the root template that will be loaded on the first page visit to your application. This will be used to load your site assets, CSS and JavaScript, and will also contain a root div in which to boot your JavaScript application. Okay, so since we only have one view, is that going to be my root view? Because there is already the vite directive here, vite react refresh. So I need to add inertia head and then inertia here. This template should include your assets as well as the inertia and inertia head directives. By default, Inertia's Laravel adapter will assume your root template is named app.play.php. If you would like to use a different root view, you can change it using the Inertia set root view method. Wait. So this is is this a layout? Where do I have to put the app.blade.php thing? Already confused. Okay. Cool. Set up the root template. Where? Is this just in the default root folder? I'm not going to use the welcome. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file here. app.blade.php. Okay. I'm just going to use this code. This is JSX now. Should it not be? All right. Moving on, I guess. Middleware. Next, we need to set up the Inertia middleware. You can accomplish this by publishing the handle inertia request middleware to your application, which can be done using the following artisan command. Run that. So that went into app http middleware handle inertia request. App http middleware handle inertia request. Okay, so the root view app. The root template that's loaded into the first page visit. Okay. Nothing much here. Once the middleware has been published, append the handle inertia requests middleware to the web middleware group in your application's bootstrap.app.php. Okay. So bootstrap app.php with middleware, which is here. Need to add middleware web append handle inertia request. We need to import this. Okay, done. This middleware provides a version method for setting your asset version, as well as a share method for defining your shared data. Okay, don't know what that means yet. I don't think I'm supposed to. Creating responses. That's it. You're all ready to go server side. Okay. Now you're ready to start creating Inertia pages and rendering them via responses. So we have control. Do we have a controller right now? I don't think we do. Nope, we don't. Jesus. Hello, man. How you doing? Thank you for joining me. Now I should. Do I need a controller now? I should create a controller. Let's go check the client side first. Okay. Once you have server-side framework configured, which I am supposed to have, you then need to set up your client-side framework. You have? Well, you can help me because I'm kind of swimming in the dark here. Swimming in the dark. Is that even a... So, I have a question for you. In the server side, they say, the documentation says, set up the root template that will be loaded on the first page visit to your application. And it by default, it says that it is going to assume that it's called app.blade.php. So is that file, do I need to create that file in the root views folder? Will that work? Is that what I did? I went to resources views. I have this welcome here, but I just created this one. By the way, the welcome one has a vid react refresh, which I probably should bring over. Oh my God. Why are you like this? So right now, I'm just not sure if this should be in the root views folder or anywhere else. I don't know if you have worked with React, but I'm guessing the process on the server side is the same regardless of what you use on the client side. Okay, now on the client side, you can provide support for React, which is what I'm using, Vue and Svelte. I'm not using the starter kit. Did I do this already? I haven't. So let's install Inertia.js with React on the client. Initialize the Inertia app. Next, update your main JavaScript file. Oh, okay. So here, okay, this is what I was confused about before, because my main JavaScript file is supposed to be app.jsx, but now that's doing this bootstrap thing, which is just loading Axios and stuff like that. So I'm guessing I don't need these and just replace app.jsx with this. Update your main JavaScript file to boot your Inertia app. you accomplish this. To accomplish this, we'll initialize the client-side framework with the base inertia component. See, I don't understand any of this. See if I can figure it out. So there is a create inertia app here, resolve, then a callback name. Pages equals import meta globe pages JSX eager true, then return an array. Is this an array? Pages $sign name, which is this .jsx. I don't know what this is doing. Then the setup element app props, create element, render app props. That this is just hieroglyphics. Okay, so the setup callback receives everything necessary to initialize the client-side framework, including the root inertia app component. Oh, there is already an inertia app component. Oh, okay. Because I don't need to know exactly what this does. I'm just going to copy and replace this with that. Resolving components. The resolve callback, which is this one, tells Inertia how to load a page component. It receives a page name string and returns a page component. Oh my God, my nose is so itchy right now. Hold on. Be gone, itchiness. Be gone. Look. Okay. So yeah, that's what I thought, because it doesn't say any it doesn't give me any location. So yeah, I just set it up in the resources views folder. And I'm assuming the main JS application, it's the app resources.js app.jsx, because I did rename it. So the resolve callback tells Inertia how to load a page component. Okay. It receives a page name, which is this, and returns a page component module. Okay. So, oh, okay. So this pages thing, it's an array. And hey, Hamad, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining me. So this is an array which is importing, apparently, everything from the pages folder. I don't know where this pages folder is. Every JSX file in the pages folder. Okay. So then using the name, I just create a key to return a pages and then the component name .jsx. Okay. I think I got that. How you implement this callback depends on which bundler, Vite or Webpack you're using. I'm using Vite. By default, we recommend eager loading your components, which will result in a single JavaScript bundle. All right. However, if you would like to do lazy loading, see code splitting documentation. Not doing that right now. By default, Inertia assumes that your application's root template has a root element with an ID of app. If your application root element has a different ID, you can provide it using the ID property. Okay, so I don't remember setting any of that. The root template looks like this. There is no. What is this for? Is that rendering an element for me? And that's it. Didn't save this. So that's it. That's all the installation. Okay. Okay. Haven't seen anything yet. So I'm guessing that's in the pages. When building applications using Inertia, each page in your application typically has its own controller route, and a corresponding JavaScript component. This allows you to retrieve just the data necessary for that page, no API required. In addition, all the data needed for the page can be retrieved before the page is ever rendered by the browser, eliminating the need for displaying loading statuses when users visit your application. Creating pages. Inertia pages are simply JavaScript components. All right. So this is a component. Okay, so okay, okay. We're getting to somewhere. Layout. What layout? There's no layout. As you can see in the example below, pages receive data from your application controllers as props. Export default function. So you're telling me there is a layout, but I don't have a layout. Where's the layout? Default layouts. Okay. Why would you start with that? And oh my god. Okay. So there is a welcome component. Well, maybe we can create this welcome component, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, should be in a pages folder. Now the pages folder, so it start relative to whatever the main JS is. So that means that if this is the main file, there should be a new folder here called pages, right? Because there is a dot here. It's importing all of the components from dot/pages. And this is the main JavaScript. So this is relative to the location of this main JavaScript. So it means we can create a new file here, and let's just call it welcome.jsx. And we can just put this in that component. this doesn't exist yet. Import layout from layout. So that means that there should be also a layout folder here. But we don't have anything there yet. Right? Export default function welcome user. Then return layout. Then head component, which is importing from Inertia JS React. Then h1 welcome user.name. Welcome to your first Inertia app. All right. Given the page above, you can render the page by returning an inertia response from a controller or route. In this example, let's assume this page is stored in resources.js pages user show. Actually, it's not there. It's just let's duplicate that. Pages, new folder. User. Let's move this in here. Rename. Show. So JS pages, user show. Resources, JS pages, user show. JSX. Let's create this controller just so that we are following along. PHP artisan make controller. What's it called? User controller. And we have a show method. Show method accepts the user. So this will give me a logged in user, which I currently don't have. Ooh, Jesus. Turn inertia render. Yeah, inertia render user show. Then pass a user. Okay, so this user, which I'm passing just as view data, if this was a view, that'll be the view data. It'll be a variable available to any blade template, but apparently it's being received here as a prop, I guess. Interesting. Okay, creating layouts. While not required, if it's not required, why do you show it? For most projects, it makes sense to create a site layout that all pages can extend. Yeah, makes sense. You may have noticed in our page, yes, I did, we are wrapping the page containing content. We're wrapping the page content within the layout component. Here's an example of such a component, which we are creating where? So what? I just name it layout? Yes. Yeah, name it layout. Wait. Is this not when you import, you need to import, do I need to include, is this the component name without the .jsx, or is this a folder? Not sure about that. Let me go back real quick. Also, why is this relative to user show? Okay, I'm already confused. And there is no suggestions here. Awesome. Well, there is layout. You may have noticed that in our page, yeah, I noticed wrapping the content in layout component. Here's an example without any route or file path. Thank you so much. As you can see, there is nothing inertia specific within this template. Yeah, all right, yeah. This is just a typical React component. Okay. Persistent layouts, while it's simple to implement layouts as it should. So what happens, because apparently I can just use this as it is. So what happens? I don't have a route. Hold on. I want to try something. Where's my web.php? So if I do route get users show, maybe, and let's use user because this was accepting a user as a parameter. The component was the controller was actually, and I don't remember, if I remember correctly, the controller would be controller class, user controller, class, and show method, right? I haven't written a route like this in a while. Do we have a user? We don't, right? There is supposed to be one in the seeder. No, yeah, there is one, but we'd never seeded. Now there's supposed to be a user. We're going to make sure that the ID is 1, which it should be by all accounts. React. Here we go. So if I were to visit that, okay. Chrome window. React playground test. What do we get there? 404. Because you need to name it correctly, dude. Yeah, there's nothing there. I deleted everything. So how about users show 1? Server error. Oh, did I not save? Of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. Of course, we need to run npm run dev. Ooh, that looks ugly. Okay, failed to resolve import. Of course you did. So my guess is, wait. What if we just move this one there and remove this folder? Oh, sorry. So yeah, same thing. Can't find it. So does that mean they have to be together because of the relative thing? Layout and show. There it is. Okay, so yeah. Well, okay, let's celebrate small accomplishments. That's a React app. I have an eyelash in the way. So that's a React app. It's rendering and it's using finding test user as it should. So yeah, pat on the back. So far, so good. The only thing that I don't like is the fact that the layout and the show component has to be next to each other, which is what the documentation was referring about. Persistent layouts, I think. Let's go and check. While it's simple to implement layouts as children of page components, it forces the layout instance to be destroyed and recreated between visits. This means you cannot have persistent layout state when navigating between pages. Okay. For example, maybe you have an audio player on a podcast website that you want to continue playing as users navigate the site, Or maybe you simply want, I don't, that's a nice idea. Next project. Or maybe you simply want to maintain the scroll position in your sidebar navigation between page visits. In these situations, the solution is to leverage Inertia's persistent layouts. Okay, how does one do that? So import layout from layout, const home. You're creating a new thing. Okay, so the only difference that I see here, wait. So it's not doing an import right away. It's just assigning. This is a whole, it's creating a function that receives the user. That function returns the HTML of the application. Then using that, it's setting the layout. Using page and setting the layout component, passing children page as a parameter, and then setting the title. I don't know if we were using this. All right, let's try that approach. So by what they're saying, I should just wait. So welcome will be my component. It's equal to, it should be const. Const welcome equal user, and that's a callback. So this needs the fat arrow here. Okay, so now we have the welcome thing. And we can see welcome dot layout. Not like that. No, layout. Equals page. So this is another callback apparently, which just returns the layout component, children. What's the other one? Title. And self close, right? Yes. Then we do export default home. What happened? Oh, that's not good. Why do we have two? Oh, I know why. Because now we don't need this to be wrapped in layout. And this is what they're doing? Yes. There you go. Okay, okay. You can also create more complex layout arrangements using nested layouts. So site layout and nested layout, two separate components. And then home is the same. Home layout is site layout, wrapping and nest. Okay, I see. So the children go into the deeper layout. And then the side layout just wraps that around. Technically, the children of side layout is nested layout. Got it. Default layouts. I like that better. If you're using persistent layouts, you may find it convenient to define the default page layout in the resolve callback of your application's main JavaScript file. Yes, yes, please. So resolve pages import eager true page default layout. Here we go. Just import layout. I want to do something because I don't like the name that I have here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this just because it's kind of similar to what I usually do in any other live Laravel application. So I'm going to make a folder here, call it layouts, plural, and create a new, not create, I'm just going to move this layout from here to here. Update imports. Sure. Oh, nice. Thank you. We're not going to need that, but thank you. So instead of calling this layout, let's rename this to app, right? Because yes, update the imports. Thank you so much. Because all of any Livewire, we're not using live. Any Laravel application that I usually create has a layouts folder with an app.blade.php. So my layouts are usually called app. So now I want to do the same. So this will be layouts app.jsx that contains my application layout. And now we can move on to create a default layout for everyone. But just to make sure that nothing breaks. Well, nothing has broken. Something has. But that's because of the name, I guess. Layouts app? No. Oh, this app. That's what changes. Changes there. No? Okay. Something's broken. Uh-huh. Import app. Did I change the name to app? I did, right? Ah. So this is called app. And in show, let's import app from layouts app. And then render that here. Anything else I haven't saved? No? Okay, cool. That work? Yes. Okay. We're closer to what I'm comfortable with. So now let's do it globally. So they say, what did they say in the documentation? Pages default. So, okay, let's open. No, don't do that. Let's open app.jsx. We have pages. So in between this, we can say page default, wait. Oh, it's returning it. Instead of returning it, you just say let page equals this, and then page default layout. I do have to import the layout up here. Import app, app from. All right, so this is relative to the main one, so we can do this layouts app, right? So we don't need the semicolon at the end, but really want it. Page default layout, right? So that's equal to page default layout or this. So if there is a value for the default layout in the page, use that or use a new layout. So this apparently in JavaScript, and I'm not very familiar with this just because I never use it, when you wrap something around with parentheses, that means it's a self-executing function. And that function is a callback, which takes in a page and returns the layout component. Okay, so that's equal to page default layout or self function and page. And here we return app with children page and self close. Everything is so different from anything that I've done. It's like completely new ground. What else? Then return the page. I know I don't need the semicolon, but I just like it. So that means that every page has a default layout now. So I can go to my current page, which is this one, show, and remove this because now welcome has its own layout, right? You can remove the import from here. Yes. Okay. Every new page, every new component that I generate now will have its own layout. Got it. This will automatically set the page layout to layout or app in my case. If a layer has not been already been, oh, so that means that I can change the layout per page if I want to. So a page can have a distinct layout or just use the default one. You can even go a step further and conditionally set the default page layout based on the page name, which is available to the resolve callback. For example, maybe you don't want the default layout to be applied to your public pages. Oh, interesting. Okay, so if name, which is the parameter that we have, this is a string. If it starts with public, set it to undefined. Otherwise, set it to this. Why is there no parentheses here? Was that just optional? No, it's not. Why does it work here without parentheses and not here? That's weird. That's weird, right? Why? Maybe it's the way that this OR operator works. I don't fully understand it, but all right. Hey, basic coder, how you doing, man? I'm doing great. How are you doing? Did you have a nice Friday today? Did you have fun yesterday? I don't know if you into the Halloween thing. I'm not. I'm boring. Abdul, this is a condition. Which one is a condition? The first one or the second one? Second one, yes, it's a condition. I'm just confused as to. Okay, you too. You two are boring, or yeah. Power to the boring people. Yeah. I'm just confused as to why I would have imagined that this is also a condition. This is just checking a null value for the first one. And if it's null, we are the boring people. Yes. If it's null, then use the right side. Why do I need to put a parenthesis there and not here? See? First one is an or. Okay. So that works differently. And okay. All right. So the ternary is a ternary. That's that one I understand. Where's the or? Logical or. New project with React Inertia. Yes, I am currently just stumbling my way up, stumbling my way into the documentation. I'm trying to do it without tutorials or starter kits, just to feel my way around it. Then I'll do the starter kit and then compare what the starter kit is doing for me and what it's not. Because if I do it with the starter kit from the beginning, then I'm going to be completely lost as to what the starter kit is doing. So I want to understand what it's doing before. Or equals, yeah. So this is the or. This is a logical or. And that I get. So is it parentheses because this has both sides of the logical or have to return a boolean, and if I use a plain callback like this, then that's not a boolean. Is that what it is? So if I wrap it inside a parenthesis, and correct me if I'm wrong, by wrapping a callback in parentheses, that means that that callback is self-executing, right? I really don't know. Hold on. Page trying to check itself if undefined. If undefined, use page component. Right. But that means that, so if this side is undefined, it's going to use this other side. My question comes with the difference between a logical or and a ternary operator. Because right here, I'm just comparing name starts with, right? If this is false, then I'm going to set layout to undefined. But if it's true, then I'm going to use this side. The thing I don't fully understand is why do I have to put this callback inside a parenthesis when using a logical or and not when using a ternary? Let me try something out. So a callback in JavaScript is just something like page. Wait. Oh, console log, sorry, console log call. So that's a callback, right? Let var equals o log. Oh. And now if I call bar with bas, if I do it right, so that's a console log. But if I do ternary is selection, still don't understand what that means. What I think it means is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, when using a logical OR, both sides of that operation have to be Boolean in type instead of one being a callback type. Because if I do this, so I'm just wrapping a callback in parentheses. So that's a function. And I can just pass the parameter to that callback function because this is just a self-executing function and this is the executing of that function, and that's console. Hey, Thirsty Pooch. Greetings, fellow Laravelers. Greetings to you, my friend. How are you doing on this Friday? So yeah, so that means that this what's the type of this? So that's just a function. So it is a function. Bar is also a function. So if I do this, I'm just saying that this layout, it's now a callback function, right? Can I replace this side with just layout? Yes, I can. Same thing here. Let's try the first one, GCC. See if it broke. No, it worked. So my only problem wrapping my head around is why did I have to wrap that callback, this callback here, in parentheses when used on this side of a logical OR, but not on the false side, on the false evaluation of a ternary operator. That's all I'm saying. Why is it different in both cases? But if I put that callback function in a variable, that I can do, and I don't have to wrap it in a parenthesis like this. That's the confusing part for me. Like, what is the difference between this side of an OR and this side of a ternary? Okay, so this turns it into a function. That's all. That's the only thing that I can see is that this parenthesis is turning this whole side into a function. In JSX, it's just convention to clean code, I think. Okay, makes sense. A little. If it's just convention, then fine. Then fine. If it's something language specific, then that's weird. Anyway, so that's working. Now I have global layouts for my pages, for my components. What else is there? Let's keep going. Where's my documentation? Okay. So default layouts, done with that. Override in default layout. Still don't understand what that is. So I understand what this is doing. It's just overriding the default layout. That I understand. If the page doesn't have a default layout, or if the page doesn't have a layout, then add the default one. That's fine. I just wanted to understand the parenthesis thing. So I'm thinking, can I use Tailwind CSS? That's the other thing I probably want to learn how to do. I already have Tailwind CSS installed. yes, I can. All right. So if I want to use Tailwind CSS here, for example, in this H1, I do know, right, class name. That one I knew. So class name, text for Excel, for example. Wait, I do have to configure tailwind.config.js, right? Because this class, it's within my JS folder, and I don't think Tailwind knows where to look for it. So right now, that's not going to do anything, right? That is the class, but Tailwind doesn't know about it. So I'm guessing I need to go to tailwind.config.js, and instead of JS, let's add another one. Yoink, yoink, paste, and we need JSX now. Still not doing anything. Hmm. Do I have to maybe restart it? Let's do that just in case. Yeah, it's already running. I probably just need to stop it and start it again. Maybe. Maybe. Nope. Hmm. Is there anything regarding classes here? Validation, manual visits, title, meta routing, redirect responses. JS and JSX. We are doing both. Wouldn't that work? Even if I do it in separate lines, I'm just telling Tailwind CSS, hey, look for .js and also .jsx. What if I just have one? Because right now I don't have any JS files in there. Also, I don't have view. Still not doing anything. Tailwind is not recognizing it. Probably an extra step somewhere that I don't know about. Maybe in Vite? Probably not. All right, let me see if I can find it. Validation events, links, manual visits, forms, nothing here. Partial reloads, blah, 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 blah. No, nothing here. Tailwind LSP working. But that'll be for VS Code. Just to give me suggestions, right? And yeah, I do have something for it, but I don't think that's why it's not detecting the class and applying my CSS and applying the CSS for that class. Is there something about it in maybe React documentation using TypeScript? Tailwind? No, no. Check Tailwind for Vite. That'll be in Laravel documentation, isn't it? Uh, Laravel polls. That's not what I want. The basics. Federico Castañuela Ortiz. Hi, how you doing, man? Saludos. Is it building? Is that something? Working with JavaScript, URL, anything about Tailwind here? Working with that, with style sheets. That's already there. Tailwind CSS and auto prefixer. That's, I can bet that's in post CSS already. Yeah, so that's not it. Content result, I am doing that. I don't need to put all of them. I just need JSX and that's there. Tailwind.config.js. I just need this one. I don't need to cover all of the JS, JSX, TypeScript X. I'm only using JSX, and that's the only place where I have a Tailwind class. It's not detecting it. So I'm going to do something. Just give me 1 second before I open it because privacy and stuff. Sometimes you have to do it. So install Tailwind, that's there. That's there. Configure, that's there. I'm guessing this is where you get that Abdul. You got it from here, or you already knew it? That's there. Yes. Import React and use as class name. Really? That's it? I'm doing that already. Are you sure? Let me check something real quick. Yeah. What am I not doing? Oh, wait a second. I know. Yes. Yes. That is exactly right. Basic coder, you hit it in the head. That's exactly why I'm just not importing the CSS file in my layout. Duh. Where is... Oh, it's the app dot... This one, hold on. Lost it. This one. There it is. Surround, round, single quotes, curly brackets. No, that didn't work. All right, I'll just do it. Resources, CSS, app.css. There you go. There you go. And everything just fell in line with the styling and everything. Now I have tell me CSS. Okay. Good. Good. Anything else that I need before I actually use a starter kit? No, I don't think so. Okay. Now that I've gone through the steps of creating everything myself, I'm going to create a new project, which is the project that I'm actually going to work in for the job board. But I'm going to use a starter kit, and then I'm going to see the things that it does that I did and what does it do that I don't, if that makes sense. So Laravel new, how do we call this? Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So, oh, forms. Yeah, I probably should. Yeah, we're good. We will get there. So job board. Let's call it job board. Do give me a starter kit. Laravel Breeze, please. React with Inertia, please. What's Inertia SSR? I don't care. Well, we can choose different. or multiple actually. What's Inertia SSR? You can go. Thank you. Server side rendering. Okay, so I don't need it. Yeah, I don't want that. I'm not gonna do that. Neither TypeScript. So just arg mode. Thank you. Pest. Git repo. Yes. SQLite. Yep. And migrations. Cool beans. Right. CD job board. Let's open that bad boy. All right, what do we have? Let's start with, let me see those routes. Okay, so starting with the routes, the welcome page is an inertia component. Cool, cool, cool. So inertia render welcome. Can log in, can register. Those are nice. Laravel version and PHP version. Okay. How about, okay, so Bootstrap. What are you doing in the Bootstrap? Handle inertia request, that's fine. Okay, what about the main file? The main entry point? I want to see that. Sources, JS, app.jsx. Here we go. Wait, okay, fine. What is this? Why are you importing a CSS file? Is it because, where's the, okay, so layouts, no, that's not it. Views, app.blade.php. Oh, interesting. First of all, what is this? Page component to JSX. Authenticated layout. So which one is the default? Let's see. So first of all, is importing the app.css file because it's not importing it on the, it's not importing that on the layout file. So it's importing it here. First thing. Create inertia app, resolve page component. This one I didn't use. Or maybe I did. Hold on. No, I wasn't using that. Interesting. So it's using this result page component, and that's for a Vite inertia. That's a Vite inertia helper. And then create root from React. That one I was using. So app name. Okay, so I'm importing from environment variables. Interesting. Vite app name. Create inertia app. Takes in a title. So all of these are props. App.jsx is the entry point for JSX, and usually it is common to import the main CSS in there. Oh, I didn't know that. So if I import the JSX, that will compile my CSS into it, so I don't have to import it using Vite. Is that what it is? That's nice. So the create inertia app, taking the title. Interesting. Really interesting. I didn't know that. Resolve name, resolve page component. Oh, that's a different thing. So so this is just an inertia helper to do exactly this part. Just passing in the name of the import of all the where all the pages are, and then the component name that I want to import. Interesting. So I'm guessing that's going to do all of this and return the page, but where's the layout? Is the component using the layout? Let's see, components. No, those are just inputs. Pages, welcome. Import head and link, default function welcome, auth Laravel version, PHP version. Yeah, fine. I'm guessing this is not using a layout. How about the dashboard? Yes. So it's not using global layouts. It's just wrapping the component in the layout that is required. In this case, the dashboard does require authentication, so it's using the authenticated layout with a header. These are the equivalent of slots, I'm guessing. So instead of a slot, it's a prop for the header, and that'll be just HTML. Then the head title, the rest of the component. Okay. Let me see that authenticated layout. Component, application logo. These were all Blade components. Now they're they are React components. Drop down nav link, responsive link. We're loading the user from the use page from Inertia React. I think I read about this. This is just data that is shared automatically with the page. And one of those is the authenticated user. Okay. This is a React thing just to set a reactive property, which is show navigation dropdown. using use state. This I've seen before. So it's the default for this is false. Then this is a function to change the value of this. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Drop down trigger. Here. This I'm using an on-click event to set show navigation drop down to just toggle it. Preview state. Why not do this only? That's interesting. And then using that value here. Okay, so what's header and? Header and? Oh. So they're using an and operator here. So both sides have to be true. Means that if there is no header, none of this is rendered. Huh. Interesting. And then children, and that's the rest of the application. Okay. I think I understand most of it. Few things here and there that I don't fully understand, but for the most part. Oh, here's a form. Let's check a form. Let's see how a form is, how a form looks like. So we have an edit component wrapped in an authenticated layout with a header, with a head. We have a div, another div, and there is an update profile information component. Update profile information form. All right. That's in partials. Here. So we grab the user again from use page. Use form. Who is that from? Inertia React. Let me read about forms real quick. That's the last thing I want to do. I'm not going to do anything with forms. I just want to read about it real quick just before we wrap up, because we're really close to the 2-hour mark. Forms, here we go. Submitting forms. While it's possible to make classic HTML form submissions with Inertia, it's not recommended since they cause full page reloads, of course. Instead, it's better to intercept form submissions and then make the request using React. So there is an edit form, values, set values, use state for first name, last name, email. Is that what we are using here? Use state, use state, use state. Apparently we're using use form instead. There is the form helper. Here we go. Since working with forms is so common, Inertia includes a form helper designed to help reduce the amount of boilerplate code needed for handling typical form submissions. So we use data, set data, post processing errors, and then use form. And this will return the data of the form, the set data to modify the form data. We have a post processing and errors. Patch. Oh, so we can use different methods. Yeah, get, post, put, patch, and delete. Since this is an update, we're using a patch. Okay. Recently successful. That's not something in the example here. Just processing errors. Recently successful is not in this example. So we have a submit method with the event, I'm guessing, to prevent the default behavior and then send a patch to route profile update. And I'm assuming that this patch will send the data over. Form on submit, submit. This will call this. We have inputs. Sorry. So text input, ID, class name, value, data name. On change, that'll be the reactiveness. Just set data to name and E, which will be the target value. Okay. Get that. Data email. If we must verify the email. So here, there's again the value end. That's a very clever way to do conditionally rendered sections. So this and this must be true so that this will render. Primary button disabled while processing. So processing was from this. Oh, okay. So that's like wire loading, like the equivalent of wire loading. What's this transition? Headless UI. Okay, they're using headless UI here. You gotta read about that. So I'm guessing this is just to show this with a nice transition is in and out from opacity 0 to not opacity 0, I guess. Okay. It's not that big as, I mean, I get most of it. The use form makes everything just more readable, I guess. I can follow along and I can understand how things are happening. So I guess it's not gonna be too big of a deal. Come on, think about what you're going to say and then say it. The project that I'm going to do, it has only one form, so I can pretty much use these examples and just replicate. It's just going to be one big form with job information and then post. There should be one for edit, but we'll figure out that later. Yeah, I feel good. I feel good about this. I thought I was going to be lost for like 2 or 3 sessions, but it has been, I haven't get stuck to the point where I had to go to the tutorial, if you noticed. So that's good. That's good. Awesome. All right, so we are going to stop here for now. And next Friday, this will be the Friday project. So next Friday, we will begin to lay down what am I going to need for the project. I'm going to look at examples of other job boards that are out there that are similar to what I want to do, and just start to think about how it's going to be, how the project is going to be laid down, what do I need for the project, data wise, etc. So yeah, I think we can begin working next Friday. For everyone watching, thank you so much for being here. Basic Coder, Abdul, as always, so helpful. Uh, who else? Thursday Pooch, thank you so much for being here. Also, Hamad, as always, never missing one session. Jesus, thank you so much for being here. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. And I think that was everyone. Didn't have anyone on Twitch side. That's sad. Either way, I'm going to rate out. So thank you so much. If you found any of this helpful, don't forget to give a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, and as always, see you in the next one. See, we can, who are we going to rate? As always, nobody around. Let's go to the ferrets instead. Always good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next Friday. Bye.